I would like to invite Elliot Ishimura. He is the General Manager of Global Forest Watch Pro, and he will briefly mention an introduction for the webinar that will come, how innovation is helping both open data and the monitoring solutions we have for meeting the current demands like regulations like the EUDR and others. So Elliot.
Thank you, Luis. And thanks everyone for investing your time today to join this session, the last one in our Global Forest Watch 10th anniversary series. If you've been following the series, you probably have a good understanding for how the public edition of Global Forest Watch brings together the best available open data sources and the world's forests and related contextual information to support exploration, discovery, and learning about how our forests are changing over time. Our mission at Global Forest Watch is to protect the world's remaining natural forests against illegal deforestation and unsustainable practices by making science-based observations and measurement of forests and forest change available to everyone. Recognizing that observation and monitoring alone is not enough, we also offer tools like Forest Watcher mobile application to enable civil society and local authorities to perform near real-time monitoring within the areas of interest that they have, and then collect evidence to hold accountable those who remove forest in protected areas against the law or in contradiction of no deforestation commitments. Supply-side accountability is important, and the awareness that local forest protectors are watching helps reduce deforestation. But the ideal scenario is to protect and avoid destructive or illegal forest removal in the first place. And the best way to foster that outcome is to reduce demand for forest products and agricultural products that are linked to deforestation. To this end, we created the professional edition of Global Forest Watch, or Global Forest Watch Pro, to help agricultural supply chain participants monitor production areas that they are sourcing from and make more informed decisions. After all, you can't avoid deforestation-linked products if you can't trace the products and inputs back to a point of origin and measure deforestation at each source location. This is precisely why voluntary commitments like that from the Accountability Framework Initiative and newer legislation like the EU Deforestation Regulation push for traceability and reporting. GFW Pro enables scale-oriented measurement and reporting on deforestation at source locations based on open data sources and analytical methods that are well documented and reproducible. Our purpose is to provide an objective benchmark or reference measure for deforestation and to make that available for free or at a highly affordable price point to participants in agricultural supply chains so they can make more informed and responsible production, sourcing, and financing decisions. Importantly, GFW Pro does not offer traceability services. We focus where our expertise lies, in forest monitoring, and collaborate with supply chain professionals and service providers to support traceability and reporting. GFW Pro is thus a building block in a larger due diligence, reporting, and compliance approach. And that brings us to the objective of our session today, to explore the rich innovation that is taking place in the supply chain monitoring, traceability, and finance worlds, building on and incorporating open data and analytical capabilities from GFW and GFW Pro. I hope you'll find the session informative and that you come away with new ideas to consider and to explore. And again, I thank you for your time. Back to you, Luis.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Elliot. We would like to present the speakers before we can start the presentations. So we have Elliot as our general manager doing the introductions. We have Tamil from Olan Agri. He is a manager and a special lead from the organization. We also have Luis Carrasco that works for TRAC, and he's a senior environmental and geospatial data scientist. We also have for today Rodolfo Roman, who's a commercial manager and work for Caja Cusco, a bank in Cusco. And to finalize the four presentations, we have Simone, who is the director of the Mikakao project that we will understand more in a while, and I will be the moderator for this webinar. Next, Isabella. Yes, well, so following what Elliot has just mentioned, the idea is to understand in a pragmatic way how organizations, different organizations from the financial sector, production, service providers are using open data, are making innovations with a lot, not only open data, under this 10 years celebration that we have in the Global Forest Watch community. We will have Olam Agri will be presenting how they are adopting different open sources and different methodologies to be able to define the innovation tailored to meet their demand for different regulations. So that's what Olam Agri will be presenting. Tracked with Luis Carrasco, we also present a new methodological approach that they developed encompassing environmental, social, and economic standards, all of them under a traceability system. So that's an interesting innovation that they will share to us in a few moments. It will also be interesting to have a perspective from a financial institution. So we also will be having Bank of Cusco, Caja Cusco, and Rodolfo will be presenting how they are using monitoring solutions and connecting that to their activities, to their operations from the financial side. They actually have created one green product that they will be presenting what is the characteristics and how they are adopting monitoring solutions to be able to promote this product. And to finalize, Simone will present the Mikakao initiative, or we can say the Mikakao ecosystem, and she will be presenting how different parts or actors along the supply chain can be connected under a blockchain system with monitoring solutions, traceability, and how this information can go all along the supply chain from the producers, the cooperatives, until market like the one in Europe and others. So that's an overview about how the presentations will be handled. And then we have at the end of the webinar some time for questions and answers. And as I said at the beginning, you can add your questions in the bottom Q&A that you see on your screen. Next. Okay, so we can invite now Tamil from Olam Agri for his presentation.
Thanks, Luis. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Tamil Vendan. I'm a geospatial lead in Olam Agri. I've been working with Olam Agri for the past 3 years, but I have more than 13 years of geospatial industry experience, mainly on nature-based solutions. Today, I will be talking about mainly on Olam Agri's sustainability goals and targets, especially on the targets related to the forest and ecosystem protection, and our engagement with Global Forest Watch and tools, how it is helping us to reaching these targets and goals in a more effective way. Next. Yeah. Before going to the goals and targets, that to set the context, as an industry, that we believe that we are in a transition phase where there is a huge imbalance between demand and then there is available resources. There are different data sets suggest that there is going to be a huge increase in population in the coming years. There is a UN projection says that it's the increasing population will be 10 billion by 2050. But on the other hand, the available resources, for example, the land availability, it's reducing day by day. 1/3 of the land is already degraded for the past 40 years due to the erosions, and 1/3 of the food what we produce is lost or wasted every year due to various reasons. So there is a huge imbalance. The big question is for us, how do we produce more food to meet the increasing demand with less resources availability? And most importantly, that how do we produce with a more responsible way than ever before? So with this in mind, Olam Agri is, can you please next? With this in mind, Olam Agri has created its sustainability goals and priorities. So the sustainability goals built on three main pillars. One is climate, nature, and livelihoods. So each and every pillar have their own set of targets and goals. Some of them are short-term, some of them are long-term, 2030 and 2050 goals. But we also prioritize what is important in each and every pillar. For instance, decarbonization is a priority for us in climate, protecting ecosystem, biodiversity, and watersheds in our supply chain is a priority in nature pillar, and improving the farmer livelihood in livelihood pillars. These are some of the priorities we set for the short-term and long-term goals. Now, in this session, I will be talking about mainly about the protecting ecosystems and forests, what we do to protect the forest in our supply chain mainly with the available tools from the help of GFW Pro. Next. So the protecting forest starts with the risk assessment. In 2017, that Olam Agri has created an index called FLRI. It's a Forest Loss Risk Index. Later it's modified to assess the risk at farm level and landscape level. Initially, it was designed to do a farmer group level assessment. Though it's modified, the principle remains same. It's taking account of three important inputs from the Global Forest Watch TCL assessment. The inputs mainly around what is the recent deforestation for the past 5 years. It's a trend of deforestation, and whether the deforestation happened inside the protected area or outside the protected area. We will give a differential weightages for this particular factor. And also we look at what is the remaining forest. So combining these three inputs from the Global Forest Watch assessment, we find out the risk of the unit, whether it's the landscape or the farm level deforestation. And once we have the index, we prioritize that for the high risk landscape, for the high risk farms, that need to be created some projects, mitigation projects. Next. So once we assess the risk, it doesn't stop there. So we continue to monitor the forest in our supply chain using Global Forest Watch. So as of now that we have more than 49,000 polygons, farm polygons and landscape units uploaded into Global Forest Watch Pro. We continue to monitor these farm polygons and landscapes units using different data layers available within the Pro version. That, for example, we use the integrated deforestation alerts, and we use this the protected area layer to monitor whether is there any further expansion happening in the nearby for protected areas where we present. So this kind of monitoring activities we do. Apart from Global Forest Watch, we use few other tools as well. We like agro tools for Brazil, especially for soy, and we are also working with Wageningen University to create a due diligence dashboard among with few other partners. This is entirely built on open sources data sets. So these tools gives us a subnational level risk assessment for different themes. This is covering the entire Olam Agri sourcing countries. So these are some of the tools and data sets we are using to monitor our forest once we identify the risk in our supply chain, whether it's a landscape or forest. Next. On the compliance side, mainly for EUDR, Olam Agri having a very diverse range of products, each and every product using a different methodologies and data sets, which is require a very different approach. So, but we as a global team that we are already part of the Global Research Forest Watch that we uploaded more than 49,000 polygons, form polygons, which is traceable. We monitor those form polygons using the EUDR specific tools available in Global Forest Watch, like post 2020 forest loss datasets, the integrated deforestation alerts, and then for the legality check, we use the protected areas and then the indigenous territory overlap areas. So these are some of the tools and the data layers we use to monitor for the EUDR purpose. And then the business or product choose to use a different data layers to add. For example, very country specific forest maps being released, and some of the products need to use a very specific data layer. Some of them are available in Global Forest Watch as well. So we leave to the business for that, but this is a basic assessment we do, and the majority of the due diligence being done in this level. Next. Apart from risk assessment and deforestation monitoring, we also use the Global Forest Watch datasets for assessing our land use change emissions. As we know that the historical deforestation is one of the major drivers for the Scope 3 emissions. So it is very important for us to calculate our Scope 3 emissions. So we use the Global Forest Watch data for the past 20 years as per the GHG protocol, and we use this assessment, and we have an internal platform called AdSource, which calculates the LUC values based on this assessment done from the GFW Pro. Next, please. Yeah. So we've been using Global Forest Watch, and we strongly feel that open data is very important for our to reach the sustainability goals of ours. The main important reason for using these open data sets is transparency. These data sets, which is already part of Global Forest Watch, are very well documented, and it brings trust and reliability among our customers. And as a global company that we are present in many countries, so we look for the consistent data sets across all the countries. Most of the global data sets, created with similar methodologies. So the consistent scale and methodology is one of the important reasons that we advocate for the open data sets. And collaboration and innovation is another important reason that we use the open data sets. If the open data sets available, then we can easily customize many tools and softwares to assess some of the risks which I was talking about, like climate change and sustainable development goals. I think these are the reasons that we strongly support the open data and research. Finally, I wish Global Forest Watch team to add more data sets into the Global Forest Watch platform to the greater good of the planet. Thank you very much for providing this opportunity to share our experiences.
Thanks a lot, Tamil, for your presentation. It's interesting to see how Olam is innovating in this space by combining different data sets, developing a methodology that can provide consistent standards across countries, which is very interesting. And using country-specific data, using global data sets, that's amazing how you guys are working and developing new solutions. And yes, we have a nice working plan for adding more features in Global Forest Watch and Global Forest Watch Pro. So more to come in the coming months, years. Okay, Tamil, many thanks for your presentation. Now we can move to the second one. So I would like to invite Luis Carrasco from Tract to your presentation. Luis, all settled?
Thanks, Luis. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here today. I'm Luis Carrasco. I'm the Senior Geospatial and Environmental Scientist here at Tract. I have an academic background in ecology and remote sensing. And here at Tract, I'm leading R&D and dealing with sustainability data, focusing mainly on deforestation data and workflows, dealing and related with geospatial data and farm geolocations and polygons. So really happy to be here and introduce you to Tract. Next slide, please. So Tract is a data platform that's the result of a co-creation process involving some of the largest agricultural and consumer goods organizations in the world. Our goal is simple. We want to remove the burden of data management and the ongoing debates around methodologies. So we provide the insight business need so that they can focus on driving sustainability and increasing sustainability performance within their supply chains. Next. So as I said, Tract is the result of a co-creation process of some of the largest agricultural companies. Tract was designed by and for both suppliers and producers, with the aim to speak a common sustainability language. So to achieve this, we also partner with leaders in sustainability data, such as Global First Watch or Wageningen University, for example. And also, as I'll mention in a minute, we have the support of multiple stakeholders to co-develop aligned methodologies. Next. Through our co-creation phase with industry experts and partners, we have designed a sustainability framework that you can see here. This framework outlines the key sustainability topics that we collectively believe are essential for the agricultural and food industries, and is designed to support any company regardless of their supply chain complexity. For each of these topics, we aim to co-develop and align methodologies, and also a set of metrics that are robust and pragmatic, and which are enabled by traceability, which is, I'd say, the backbone of our platform. So the result is can be more comparable and impactful for measuring sustainability performance. So once we align on a methodology, it becomes integrated into Tract's platform. And the key point here is that we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to introduce new metrics when we don't want to introduce new metrics when well-established ones already exist out there. So our approach is to harmonize existing methods and create a common language that works across the industry. So to do that, we engage in working groups and consult with external partners to ensure that our methodologies align with industry best practices. Next slide. One of our key areas which we focus is on deforestation assessments. So with the increase of regulations such as the EU Deforestation Regulations, business need reliable science-based methodologies to assess deforestation risks within their supply chains. So our deforestation assessment is built on a multi-layer approach that integrates various data sources and methods to ensure that businesses can comply with regulations while making informed and data-driven decisions. Next, please. So why do we prioritize open data? This is mainly because of transparency, accountability, and comparability, which are critical in sustainability assessments. Open data enables research collaborations, ensures regular updates, improvements, allows for recognized verification mechanisms that support compliance with regulations such as EUDR. So by leveraging open data, we provide business with credible and independently validated information that helps them meet sustainability commitments and also regulatory requirements. Next. Okay, Global First Watch is a key partner in our approach because they offer unique spatial data sets, which include, as Tamil mentioned, forest loss, deforestation alerts, high-resolution imagery, data on indigenous and community lands, etc. These diverse data sets allow us to build a comprehensive multi-layer approach for a EUDR deforestation check methodology. Global Forest Watch can also provide trusted scientific advice and methodological inputs. And we think they are, in general, a trusted leader in the sector. They collaborate with governments, with society, etc. So this ensures, in a way, for us, that our approach remains at the forefront of sustainability monitoring. Next, please. So to conduct effective deforestation assessments, we rely, as I said, on a multi-layer approach based on some key data sets. This includes natural forest baselines for 2020, in this case for EUDR. This helps us establishing a reference point for forest coverage. And then we use forest loss layers. This helps us monitoring changes over time to identify potential deforestation or forest loss events. These are mainly the GLAD forest, global forest change, the Hansen dataset, and also integrated alerts, which we use to cover the gap between the latest Hansen yearly layer and the date of analysis. Next, please. I'm going to show you this methodology, which was shaped through our technical working groups. Our goal here is to provide an aligned methodology that categorizes farm polygons based on deforestation status, or whether some level of effort should be used to conduct further checks. This allows business to prioritize where manual checks should be conducted and where automated assessments are enough. So we categorize farm locations into two categories, or EUDR categories, and also into management categories, polygon management categories. For instance, if we identify both natural forest and forest loss within a farm polygon, we classify it as deforested automatically. But still, if there was no forest loss identified using the Hansen dataset, but we detect natural forests or deforestation alerts, we flag those polygons with further checks or future monitoring is required status. So, and also, we also recognize the imperfection of these remote sensing based datasets and the presence of false positives, a very hot topic. So we provide a system of threshold management where a user can modify the default forest loss threshold from 0, so that they can deal with polygons with potentially wrongly identified forests or with border polygons, which are forests in the border of the farms, affecting the analysis within the farm. In every case, to perform this threshold modification, evidence must be provided by the user. So for instance, by providing some visual evidence that what we are seeing is actually a false positive. So we make the due diligence process much more efficient in this way. This means that users have to still double check some of their farms, but not thousands of farms, as is in the case of not having this kind of management process. So for cases with concerns, we drive your efforts to double check your polygons, only your polygons with actual potential issues. By using this structured science-driven approach, we ensure that companies can efficiently assess deforestation risks while maintaining compliance with regulations. I think we will provide a link to the full methodology if you're interested in the chat. Next, please. With Tract, business get a complete solution for EUDR compliance, not only the deforestation assessment. So this solution includes supplier portal to receive and manage data from all your suppliers, and also geolocation validations, framework for supplier documentation covering the legal aspects of EUDR, comprehensive risk profiling, which includes commodity-specific and country-specific risk metrics, the needed data storage for 5 years, also automated due diligence statements ready for submission, And also we provide an API integrations with the EU traces, with the EU information system and other ERP systems. So in general, track simplifies the complexity of compliance and provides business with the insights they need to drive the meaningful sustainability improvements. Next, please. Just my last slide. If you want to learn more about our EUDR solution, we have a EUDR readiness check. We focus on deforestation today, mainly, but to learn more about our full offering and our EUDR solution in general, you can link here. You can click the link here. We get back to you. We help you identify your gaps and tell you where we can help you. Next slide. And this is all from me. Thank you very much. And please contact me with any question. I have my email address here. Thank you.
Luis, many thanks for your presentation. It's interesting to see how Tract is aligning the methodology with industry best practice, not trying to create something new, but to adjust what is available to meet market demand. How you are looking for partners to provide scientific advice in the methodological approach you should take. I think that's another innovation, interesting innovation. Tackling the false positives, it's always a huge concern. And the way you are approaching this problem by really going for more detail in the polygons where it's needed, right? We can analyze the vast majority of the polygons for the UDR, for example, with very low cost, using a clear methodology, open data. And yes, it's going to be needed to clarify the information in a few polygons, which costs more. So that's a nice approach and an innovation to how to bring the needed monitoring information for all the polygons with the lowest cost possible. Thanks, Luis, for your insights. Now we will go for the third presentation with Roman, from the Bank of Cusco, Caja Cusco. Roman, podemos começar?
Bien. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rodolfo Roman. I've been leading for around 15 years in the microfinancing sector in Caja Cusco. I have been creating products, processes on the social side, and for 5 years, I've been focusing on sustainability. This is a key point for us as a financial entity. We have in mind because we need to look at this if we would like to keep going. This time, I would like to basically share some proposals that we have been handling so far and how to create synergies on this financial side with technologies looking for sustainability. Basically, the experience that I'm giving you right now, it's called Agroprotector in Caja Cusco, because we would like to integrate satellite technology to strengthen products and with the goals of protecting the Amazonian. We're located in Cusco, but around us there is an Amazonian space that we would like to protect, and a lot of activities are happening here. So basically, this product is looking to have sustainable agricultural practices and have a protection of forestry coverage. This is a topic that is often a bit misused, let's say. We're talking about the term, because this not only implies to carry out an activity in the Amazonian, but in the Amazon, but also this will give you sustainability. This is where Caja Cusco will fit. Caja Cusco is not alone. We are cooperating with Forest Watch, with the German Corporation, and some other state bodies in order to create this kind of proposals for protecting the ecosystem and generating sustainable agricultural practices and in general the Amazon. Next one, please. Basically, this is a context that I would like to understand the potentials that we have in Cusco and in Peru. As you know, we have a jungle that it's a natural wonder, as you may know. We also have a mountain range that has a very interesting and ancestral richness and even a sustainable one because Cusco is the cradle of an empire and a past. The Incas were there and they have inherited to us the sustainability topic in their remains and in the way they have been tackling their day by day. As you may see, we have a native and agricultural diversity. There are products that we have to protect, and this also helps us to keep fostering more proposals in the benefit of this. And as I was saying, there is an ancestral and agricultural richness that we have inherited, and we cannot give a blind eye to it. We have to give it the same value. That's why we have an example in the picture. This is an experimental agricultural center from the Incas that even now it's being admired and how they develop this kind of technologies in favor of sustainability. And obviously, this lead us to preserve this natural wonder that we're called to protect it. And on behalf of Caja Cusco and on the financial side, we have to be conscious and we have to be participants and intervene in this topic and not, as I've said, give a blind eye to it. What have we noticed and why am I telling you all this? Peru is a very or mega diverse country, as you can see here. Just to set a few examples, this is one of the countries that has been cataloged as mega diverse. We have more than 39 terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems, more than 25,000 flora species, around 787 eatable native species, and Incas were able to domesticate many species of these ones. So facing this, we're wondering what we can do here. We decided to do even more. So we have been carrying out actions for the natural preservation, the preservation of natural resources that we have, and on the other hand, how we can protect this environment. And that's how conservation was born, and also how we can promote these businesses that are that are economically sustainable. So from this economical reality, we ask ourselves what we can do if we are facing this. This comes from the front that we already know about. So how will we be doing this? We started analyzing what else we can do in order to create a value proposition in favor of sustainability. We located impact areas or impact zones. What is the value that we'll be creating in favor of diversity, which damages will be solving, and it is certain that we wouldn't be able to do it by ourselves. We have experience, more than 35 years of experience in social and the financial environment. This is our DNA. However, we are not specialists in sustainability technology, or at least with the objective that we would like to reach in terms of sustainability. That's why we have to go hand in hand with allies, and it was important to have strategic agreements that has allowed us to enrich this value proposition at the same time. This is how AgroProtector was born. This is a product that we have been focusing on, and basically it is protecting forest using satellite technology. We started with a pilot last year, August last year, with some focalized agencies. Basically, this pilot allowed us to evaluate which opportunities we're having up to the extent that we are currently on the first step, which is to expand this proposal to more agencies. And we're basically in the Cusco department, which territory, 56% of it is the Amazon, and it's basically jungle. So this product is promoting sustainable agricultural practices and also the preservation by non practicing deforestation. We're financing sustainable practices, coffee, cacao, and citrus, and also uh, s- uh, the teamwork or the symbiosis or synergies that we can have because this is not separated. We don't have coffee, citrus, and cacao in different places. There is necessary a combination uh, of these crops, and the farmers are always carrying out these practices. We are financing up to 50,000 soles because we would like to go to the small business owners or producers that have maximum 5 hectares, and we're promoting this differentiated products. We have been flexible on their situations. We are not asking a lot of paperwork because we know that the backup goes on another side. It's because of their costumes, it's because how they are preserving their environments and how they carried out these agricultural practices, even knowing when they have to comply this role of generating income, but also taking care of their environment. And the benefits that we have provided them with can allow them to have a traceability of their products because let's say they are producing coffee with zero deforestation, and obviously this in the market brings them to a different level. We're promoting agricultural production of agroforestry cultures or crops, and also strengthening the green portfolio. In Caja Cusco, we have a portfolio with 5 or 6 products that diverted to this role, which is the agro protector, one of them at least. The flow of attention that we have on the field is pretty simple, actually. We have developed a technology for evaluating credits, and the analyst goes to the productive unit. This person sent us the productive area or the area or the productive point. We go to the Global Forest platform. We carried out some filters and we come back with the information in real time to the list. So it can determine that this client or this productive unit is carrying out deforestation or not. And this is basically backed up by Global Forest Watch platform. Immediately, we provide them the proposal and we provide them also with the agro protector. And if we have any suspicion of deforestation, we basically don't provide them with this product and we tell them the reasons why. We tell them, hey, we are not giving you this really good product because it has a different fees and different benefits because of these reasons that we have found. So that we are creating consciousness, and in the future they can ask themselves, okay, if by doing this I am not accessing to these benefits, then in the future I will try to be more careful, be more conscious, and not deforestate. This is the objective that we are looking for. Basically, this is a very simple flow. The credit process is just like that. We don't have any modifications, but the evaluation, we are using this technology to get a response in real time. And at the same time, we are segmenting and we can offer the agroprotector product in this case. And actually, up to 24th of December, we are building a small portfolio, but we can see the potential in this year. We have more than 115 beneficiary families up to December in the past 6 months. We have been impacting more than 502 hectares in effectively used areas. And we have noticed that women's participation has been increasing. There is an allocation of functions in this rural area. Let's say all the credit management are being carried out by women because men are doing the hardest work in the chakra. And women payment culture, if you like to say it like that, it's better than the men's one. So they are very punctual. They pay more attention to that. Hence, the results are encouraging us to keep pushing with these proposals and also keep scaling to other departments, which is our objectives. Not only Cusco, we also have in the aim Ucayali, Loreto, San Martin, other departments that have a mountain range, jungle, and the Amazonia in general, in Peru. And the scaling is also a process that we would like to uh, keep moving on. In reality, this is everything that I would like to say or mention as an experience. Agroprotector, of course, this is a line from its origin to compliance, and also it's pursuing ODS. We are also trying to contribute with a little bit of help, but we would like to call also in general all the financial sector from their fronts. They can keep boosting and promoting the financial aspect, but not only that, also sustainability topic with this kind of proposals. And the learning that we have had so far is that this cannot be carried out by ourselves. This has to be contributing with different actors and also using technology that will help us to mitigate and create efficiencies with providing credits, with creating synergies in the market. We're about to finish, so if you would like to sum up, just because of the time, Rodolfo. Yes, I'm sorry. Basically, this is everything that I would like to tell you, and well, thank you very much for the space.
Thanks a lot, Rodolfo, for your insights. So it's interesting to see the perspective from the financial actors, how to help bringing knowledge, changing the culture from the smallholder farms, especially. This is what Carracusco is doing. And the strategic alliance that was needed to create this product with Minister of Environment, MINAM, international cooperations like Reiseta, us, supporting this process, and how they are using the information in real time, right? Checking how the polygons, the properties are to be able to release the funding. So that's very interesting, the innovation Carracusco is bringing to this process. And we are heading out to the last presentation with, we invite Simon to present a bit about the Micacao ecosystem, Simon. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. My name is Simona Ronsain, originally Dutch, but living in Peru for many, many years. I'm here from the Peruvian Amazon, working on this project Micacao for like over 2 years now. Helvetas Peru is coordinating the initiative, which is financed by the German corporation. I would like to speak in Spanish because day to day I'm talking about this project in Spanish and it will be a little bit more fluid. So voy a cambiar a castellano.
I'll be switching to Spanish now.
Bueno, aquí está mi
Well,
website.
basically, you have my contact information. You have the logos of my partners. We're in Colombia with Q, and also in Peru, we're executing this project on the field, and we have a technological partner in the Netherlands, Change Foundation. Basically, in the contest, we have this challenge of complying.
Next slide, please. Siguiente, por favor. Tenemos este desafío de cumplimiento con la regulación
We
europea.
have the challenge of comply with the EU legislation, among other challenges to comply with sustainability and so on. So when we started with Mikaka, we identified these three key topics that we wanted to work with. The first one is regarding traceability and monitoring of deforestation. We needed to be in compliance with regulation. But we also need to evaluate how we can really make a difference and how for a producer it's better to not deforestate and to leave the forest alone. And on top of that, how to make it so attractive that people can turn into regenerative agriculture, and how we can create more incentives to create this process. So for 2 years, we've been pushing, and I have 10 minutes now to present the whole technological situation that we have created. So very quick, I will explain this. If you would like to have additional information, you can ask me or you can contact me. But anyways, just to summarize, what do we need? We need the product information. We start with cacao. It comes from the grain to the consumer. And for the European regulation, the main information is in the crop, the verification of deforestation, and also the legal use uh, of the land and legality related topics are in this first slab. This is a bit digitalized, and with this demand and with this complex matters, we have V2R that has a longer process.
Entonces, decidimos que necesitamos una infraestructura pública de datos para que todos los actores de la cadena
For the factors of the chain, we have to consider all the aspects, and we have to evaluate where they're buying, where they're selling. We have all the information, we can have the chain. With cacao, we have everything hand in hand with all the different factors, and we have the public infrastructure data. It's called Open Cacao Chain. It's basically based on blockchain, and it's or it has an interoperability. The idea is not to burden us with a bigger workload. The idea here is to keep using the same transaction registry system with the company or in the cooperativa, and we can lead it with public infrastructure so that it can be registered automatically or with an approval from blockchain, and we can share it in this way within what it is permitted, of course, because there's a data privacy topic here. A producer can have a farm management system, and with this managing system, we can integrate it with Cacao Chain, and also, can you go back one slide, please? I'm sorry. So it can be any application can be used for this, but we wanted to use a this kind of system to have the data of the producer, and also it will provide them with more possibilities. That's why we created the Mi Cacao Productores app. Also, the intermediary, the cooperativa, and the producers associations can be using their own system integrated with blockchain and use Mi Cacao Comercialista that we have developed especially, and it can be more versatile for the current needs. And also the industry and the system of ERP, we are integrating data, and we are doing this for this chain as we can send this to a producer with Global Forest Watch for the zero deforestation verification. And we get the response from Global Forest Watch, and we can have a verifiable credential. This is regarding the blockchain technology. We have a special API, and it goes with a Forest Watch signature that says, yes, this is a analysis carried out by Global Forest Watch, and this becomes an asset to the producer. We are at the same time working with land legality, and if the producer doesn't have an access to a phone, the cooperativa can actually do it, and it can communicate with Global Forest Watch.
So we can deep dive into the solutions for next one, please. Okay, so this application is very didactic, very intuitive for the producer. You can see your product, your polygon, the result of the deforestation, and we have over 4,000 producers with this type of GFW, and we can see that we have presence in Colombia and Peru. Next slide, please. And here we have what's the most exciting part for us, because all this information, as I was mentioning before, the producer this information is not only important for the traceability. We have a module for services, and just as the Caja mentioned, we have another provider for green credits, and they provide to the producer the option to share data, to run an assessment, and to ultimately get access to green credits. The producer can get in there, answer to some basic questions, and he's going to apply for the credit. And on the right-hand side, you can see the dashboard to see which are the applications, the validation status, and which applications have been cleared or not, and then we have one validated credit. Everybody's happy, and this way we can bring closer both parties. But it's very important to highlight the credentials that can be now verified to the producer. The producer may have now access to something that was very complicated to access before. At the same time, we have the protocol to access one spatial monitoring system, and this way we can drive extra revenue. And we are adding more and more services. A slide, please. And Here, as I was mentioning before, we developed our application working with Ordena and Global Forest Watch. So we have the verification and sending back the PO to Forest Watch Pro. The next slide, please. So this application, it's a desktop version in your office, in the company office, or in the cooperative office. You have all the registers, all the information, and once the information is uploaded in the system, all the movements are going to be recorded. Who is selling, who's buying. We also have the amount of goods and so on and so forth. And we also have the application in the farm who are sending products to keep an eye on their stock. It's very convenient as a solution, but of course we may see other solutions of this kind that can communicate to the blockchain the cacao, the grain movements. That may be insightful as well. And as I was mentioning before, the industry already has one system with an API connected to the blockchain. A slide, please. So we want to see which is the data that must be shared by one company. I mean, it goes beyond the name, the location, the type of user, of course, but each transaction and for it implies the location of the product and the kind of product, cacao, cacao nibs, butter. We have the PO number as well, the entry date, the exit date, and that's exactly the type of data, the type of user that is being used to develop that pricing model to finance the solution. We can see once again the dashboard that can be used by the company to see what we have exactly into the package that they're going to buy. We have an all-in-one information. Slide, please. The consumer, next slide, please. And in here you can scan the QR code and you can see that this is one chocolate that is being sold in the Netherlands. It comes from Peru, and you can find all the information on this cacao. You can see the information that is going to be shared, all the legally shared information. All these details appeared in this QR code. This information is also included in the open cacao chain. We have because the more we get actors in the chain, we get more information in our database. So that will be all. For me, it was a very quick presentation on all the ecosystem and I mean what stands out of this system is the highlight in the data management, which has many advantages, not only for the producer, but also for all the users. Slide, please. And here, once again, I leave you my contact details, and I'd be thrilled to speak to you a little bit further if you have any questions. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Simone, for your presentation. From the innovation part, I think what MiCacao is really bringing new perspectives is how to engage with the producers, right? How to bring the producers in the Amazon, smallholder farms to this ecosystem. I know that MiCacao has a huge engagement support to be able to reach out to all those producers. We are helping in this approach as well, but I would say that it might be a very important innovation apart from the whole blockchain system that you developed and are aiming to connect to different actors along the supply chain. Many thanks for your presentation. I think now it's time for questions and answers. Correct, Isabella? If so, I'd like to start with an interesting one here that would go for Tamil from Olam. Tamil, you are being asked here to present a little bit more about the challenges, how the process of getting almost 50,000 polygons from your producers, how the process went, what was the challenges, because we know that getting the polygons, it's a very, very complicated process. And so please, can you share a bit more from what Olam is handling this situation?
Yeah, sure. No problem. Thanks, Luis. So for collecting farm polygons, as you said, it's the most complicated process. So what Olam does is that we have two different mobile applications created. One is called Spider, another one is called Office. So as you know that we mostly engage with the small holding farmers. Most of them are field crops. So it is almost impossible for we as farmers to give the data sets because most of them don't have even advanced mobile sets to collect the data sets. So we have field agents who regularly go to the field and collect those farmers who registered with us for the direct farmers, I mean. For crops like a cotton, every year we do this process because the biggest challenge for us is the field crops, mainly. The perennial crop is not a big challenge because once you do the mapping, it stays for some years. But the field crops like a cotton, farmers tend to change the crops next year. For example, you do the crop mapping this year, the farm mapping, and next year they change the crop, then you lose your traceability. So I think that's the biggest challenge for us. Rightly, like you mentioned rightly, getting data collected from field, especially for the field crops, is a real challenge. The way we handle is that increasing the field agents in field, and we use in some extent we use the satellite data sets to do the crop mapping and give some insight to our field agents where to go, how to cover the field crops. But that's the way to go about it. I hope it answers.
Yes, very properly. Thanks a lot, Tamil. I see many questions here in terms of forest definition, forest degradation. So maybe I'd like to invite Ben to provide from the research part, from the how this the analysis, the methodologies are being evolved, and how can we help producers with agroforest systems, cocoa and coffee, the same ones that both Carracusco and Simone are working with, and others. How can we eliminate the false positives under this framework, and how the methodological approach is evolving? Ben, can you share some information to us here?
Yeah, thanks, Luis. And I think we saw a lot of questions in the Q&A focused on this question about, do you use one data set, or how can you, eliminate agroforestry from deforestation? And I think, everyone will not be surprised by the answer. It depends on your local supply chain and your production system. I think the short answer is, you use a combination of data sets. And in a similar webinar yesterday, I was explaining it for the agri sector, right? You have raw products, and then you process and blend them into a final food product, right? So a lot of what we do with the Pro tool is develop a blended and processed output, right? An analysis report. And this is similar to what Tract would do, or many commercial providers, where you would take tree cover loss, PRODES, the Joint Research Center's global tree cover, alerts, dist alerts, vegetation alerts, the spatial database of planted trees, and your local supply chain data as well, which sometimes companies will have processed and refined before they use it with these global data sets. So the simple answer is, it's a layer cake, and you want to filter out areas aren't of interest. I think we're going to provide a long list of web links for some of these answers shortly. We have some new data products that really help with this. The dist alerts developed by the Land and Carbon Lab are now extending real-time or near real-time monitoring into temperate zones, and they can filter by driver, most interestingly. So they can eliminate natural seasonal browning in temperate areas, flood, fire, so that those don't generate false positives. And then both the JRC's new product and our own SBTN Natural Lands Map, they use this spatial database of planted trees, which is kind of, like a local aggregation of national concession areas. And we drop all of those out of any kind of deforestation analysis, right? Because if it's a eucalyptus or a citrus plantation and you're doing tree management, that doesn't need to trigger a global deforestation concern. So those are some of the existing tools that you would kind of bundle different data sets in. Either, with Pro, we do specific analyses that are kind of designed for that. And those could be, for example, leveraged through the tracked API relationship. So that's where we've stacked them and filtered them according to some standard approach like AFI, negligible risk. And then we have some kind of innovative products we're working on right now with the Peru and Colombia GIZ safe pilots, where we're going to look at revised ways of how can we get smallholder polygons integrated into these global data sets, like the spatial database of planted trees, but for smallholders. So that's something we're kind of currently cooking, but it will be generally interesting for people to think about where there's agricultural land or agroforestry parcels. Eliminate those from your input data. And what we're going to work on over the coming months is providing our data sharing and data management so that we can start to enable that at scale. And for those organizations that are set up to share data confidentially or anonymously, then we could start going beyond, say, like the Palm concessions data and say, well, if you have smallholders and we know they're smallholders and we know they established a coffee plot in 2018, let's set up a rasterized filter so we can remove those from all these different alert systems. But I think the first place I would direct people to kind of look at as soon as if you look in the Q&A, I don't know how many of those links are easy to sort through, but we'll give you a list. And I think some key ones would be the dist alerts are really interesting. We have a kind of 1 kilometer driver data set that just came out with the Google DeepMind, and that might not be useful at the smallholder farm level, but it may be useful at the supply chain level just to remove large areas where if there's a part of the Southern Amazon where mining is the primary driver, that might not be the first place you want to dedicate your operational time and attention. So you may be able to look at the driver data set as well as the alerts, and then take a look at the spatial database of planted trees and natural lands map. Those will at least get you up to a baseline so that you're not just looking at all tree cover loss. But I think that was kind of a long answer to a short question.
Thanks a lot, Ben. Solving this agroforest situation for the EUDR is paramount to help producers, especially in the Andino Amazonic countries where they export cocoa and coffee towards Europe. Thanks a lot for your insights. Simone, from many questions to the MiCacao project, I'd like to touch in one specific point because this is also a huge task that we need to solve, all countries need to solve, about the legality, which is part of the due diligence for the EUDR. We know that the MiCacao is also tackling that. So can we share more information how you guys are handling this situation, this so complex situation in the countries that you are working?
Yes, thank you. Gracias. Voy a hablar en castellano.
Yes, it's very complex. It is very complex because not everyone in here, Peru, Colombia, or many cacao producing countries have one title. And that makes situation more complex, right? However, what we do have is one category helping to check. But it's very complex for each country to update the data on the deed, right? So we need to go digital. And we could send one polygon through GFW. So it would be interesting. Why not sending one polygon to one entity who has that data and which is the entity governing the legality on the land use? The government. So what's the role of the government? The role of the government would be that of collecting databases where we can double check this information. But in reality, and from what I know, we require the legality of land use, not the property, not the deed. What does it mean? It means that this shouldn't be inside of a conservation area or an area providing for agriculture. So we've been working with the agriculture with the farming ministry, who have data from several processes to consolidate one database, one portal, who's going to gather one polygon, and it's going to be processed and send it back with a confirmation or not of such information in the database, because we still have paper-based information and we need to digitalize this information. We have this first step. We are stepping into the digital, and we are doing the last. We are doing the last steps on this digitalization, and we will be running some tests to see if the results are good or not. And that's the situation in Peru and in Colombia. We work a little bit different in Peru than in Colombia. We have the UPRA, and we're in conversations with Luis to see how can we work together with the GFW. And well, the producers who do not have yet any type of register or ongoing register, because I may not have the deal, but maybe it's in process. How could we use legal declaration? So we are developing this option to leave no one behind.
Muchas gracias. Thanks a lot, Simone. It's really a complex process to be solved. Each country has their own specificities, right? So it's nice to have the perspective from Mikakao on that. And we know that you are doing an amazing job also to bring capacity on this part of the EUDR. Many interesting questions here. So let's give one to you, Luis, for attract. So 2 topics in one question. About the drivers of deforestation, can you guys track that as well? And for the EUDR, besides the open data that you guys are working under your methodology, what other data sets would you recommend for compliance for the EUDR, apart from the open data you guys use?
Thank you, Luis. So for the first part of your question, I guess Elliot and Global Forest Watch crew would reply that much better than I, but it is pretty clear that the main driver of deforestation is agricultural conversion, and that's why maybe around 90% of it probably in the last few decades, and that's why TRACK is tackling that issue. Focusing on the agricultural industry and focusing first on deforestation assessments. And then the last few decades, I just posted there that around 11%, I think, of global forests were deforested. So I think that reflects the size of the issue. Regarding non-open data sets. So in my presentation, I explained overall why we rely on open data sets. That's especially because of accountability. Verifying organisms such as EU Commission will have access to these open data sets. But using open data sets goes much beyond those issues. It's about research, collaboration, etc. But still, we have to recognize that there are out there non-open data sets which could be useful in certain cases. We know that there are difficulties in identifying correctly forest laws, or even what is a natural forest for some regions in the world, and also it's difficult to separate what is a natural forest from some commodities, right? We can talk about some difficult ones to identify, such as coffee or cocoa. In some specific cases, when open data sets, which normally are global, in some cases are lower resolution, we could go to these other data sets. But in the case of TRACT, We believe that it's more than the data set itself. It's taking a multi-layer approach, and to having in the case of the EUDR compliance, is to having a robust workflow where you can check several layers, where you can provide external evidence, visual checks, other documents that helps you provide with this compliance. So I would just say that around this topic, that is not about specific layers, and that we could go to some of these not open layers in some cases, but our approach for now is a open data sets and multi-layer approach.
Okay, understood. Very clear, your explanation. Thanks a lot. I believe we have time for one more question. I'd like to share some comments here with Roman from Carracusco. Roman, can you bring more information from the financial side of the agroprotector? What are the interest rates? How comparable are this product with other products that Carracusco offer to producers? How can you guys can improve the interest rates to make this product more appealing for producers to bring them to the product? If you can provide more information about financial aspects from your product, that would be very good.
Thank you very much. Of course, that is right. And regarding the conventional credits that we provide for the segment with Agroprotector, we are going from 4 to 6 points under the average of conventional credits that we manage. Meaning that if I give a client 30, 28%, just as an example, with Agroprotector, they will be accessing to 5, 6 points less. All in all, it would be a very good differentiated rate based on the conditions as well, because we normally are asking the micro financial sector, we have certain requirements and conditions. But in this case, by focusing, because we are focusing on the ballot proposal, we are giving differentiated conditions. Currently working with IDs and the field visits and another document that the farmer has. We're adapting to them or also what they have. Hence, it is easier to provide these credits, and on top of that, they are very interested how much I will be paying if I have a different credit outside of the Agroprotector. So far, we have had great success, and this as a pilot has helped us to calibrate. And now that we are in a new stage with this feedback, we have been launching this to other agencies, and I hope this can keep growing. On the side of the financial aspect, we are adapting conditions and requirements according to the area that we're located in, meaning that we're working with what we have. This is basically our proposal regarding our technology, and now with georeferencing and the satellite topic, we're mapping forests.
Perfect, Rodolfo. Many thanks for your insights. And the way you guys are working with this product, right? From step by step, promoting the change in the culture, improving the interest rates, but that's a process, right? You need to move organically here. Okay, thanks, Rodolfo. Thanks to all the presenters, Simone, Luis Carrasco, Tamil, also Elliot and Ben and Isabel that has organized the whole webinar. It has been a pleasure to listen to different perspectives, insights on the innovation side for the EUDR, using monitoring solutions, integrating all of them. So I believe now we go for the conclusion, the last remarks. Thanks again. If you have any questions after the webinar, you can send the questions through email to our team. We'll be posing to the presenters. We also have a survey when we finish here The webinar will be posted to a link where you have a survey. If you can really put your information there, it's very short. That will be helping us a lot for the coming webinars. And that was it. Thanks a lot again. We are exactly on time to finalize under the time we were proposing. And thanks a lot for the presents again. It has been an amazing experience to listen to your work. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Luis, and everyone. Bye-bye.